Okay, Nate, we're ready to go at 7 o'clock.
All right,
All set?
I started the recording. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Welcome, everybody, to tonight's zoning appeals meeting on December 11th, 2003.
Mark, could you speak into the mic a little bit? I'm not sure. Can everyone hear Mark?
With all this technology, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I'll try to boost the sound.
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. So again, we're opening up the meeting for December 11th, 2023. Tonight with us, we have James Steck, Carrie Vibert, Ken Edwards on video. Nate is here representing the office, and Stephen Thompson is new to the committee, and Randy Stelma. Welcome, gentlemen, to the meeting. Our first order of business, Jeremy asked that we unfortunately have to choose a chairman to the meeting. So how does the name Chairman Edwards sound to you, Ken?
I thought Chairman Travella sounded good to me.
I thought you would say
I
that.
think you're the,
Second Chairman
you're
Travella.
the longest serving member. To me, you seem the logical choice.
I think you just said I was the oldest, so you know, I don't mind
Oldest serving.
longest serving. Honestly, I don't mind if that's the case. Do we have to be motioned
We would have to have a nomination.
and who makes that nomination?
I hereby nominate Mark Travella to serve as chair.
You, Judge
I'll
Steck.
second that.
Thank you, Mr. Edwards. May I have a discussion first? No? Anybody talk me out of it? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. I accept. This is just for a year, right?
Yep, we do it every, we would do it every
Okay,
December.
thank you very much.
I'd also recommend doing a vice chair.
Oh,
So if you're not available, we would know the succession order.
and do we have to nominate a vice chair this evening?
You don't have to, but it's highly recommended.
Highly recommended. Well, can the new chairman nominate
Sure.
Carrie? Because I really like you, I nominate Carrie Vibert as my vice chair. May I have a second?
I will second that
second
nomination.
Thank you. It sounded pretty unanimous. Any discussion, Carrie? Okay, may I have a vote on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Carrie. Appreciate that. Okay. Moving on. We have minutes on our agenda that I think we need to get off our agenda from March 13th. I know I've read them more than once. Are we familiar with the minutes? May I have a motion to accept?
Motion to accept the minutes for March 13th, 2023.
March 13th. Thank you. And a second?
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
those minutes have been approved. Thank you, Ken. And I believe we also have minutes from May 8th.
A motion to approve the minutes from May 8th, 2023.
Thank you. And a second?
Second.
And may we have it all in favor?
Aye.
Our
Aye.
minutes for May 8th are approved. Thank you very much. Those items are now off our table. Okay. I understand, Nate, tonight's new business, letter A, is needing to be reinstated.
Hello? Yep. So this is applicant Luis Loja for 104 Washington Avenue. They had an application for a front yard setback variance on the corner of Central Ave in Washington. In reviewing their application, their surveyor incorrectly noted the setback. So all the noticing that was originally done for the public hearing was incorrect. So I notified both the surveyor and the applicant, and they're going to have to redo their public notice. We're not recharging them another application fee. But I recommend the committee, the board schedule the public hearing for the January 8th meeting. And then that would kind of automatically table it until then to be heard.
Okay, very good.
Just a quick question. Does that, because of that, does that start the clock again on the timelines for a decision or?
Well, yeah, we don't have, the hearing won't be open. So, I suggest not opening the hearing tonight and continuing it, but just to set the public hearing for the next meeting. So we shouldn't have to have an extension for that period of time. So yeah, really, it would just have to be, you're scheduling the public hearing for the January meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
Satisfactory answer, Mr. Edwards?
Yeah, so there's no action we really need to take tonight.
Right. No, not
Right,
tonight.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions from the committee? Okay, then we'll move on to,
Oh, it would be helpful if you just made a motion setting the public hearing, just so that we know that it's going to be on the January 8th meeting. Usually
do
we
you have
do
a
that
date for the January meeting?
January 8th.
January 8th? Okay,
Yep.
may I have a motion to set the meeting for January 8th? for
I will
public-
motion to set the meeting for the January 8th public hearing on the application variance of Louis Loca.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Ken. Okay, motion moved. Okay, now moving on to new business B. Is Gary here this evening? Hi, Gary. Nice to meet you. Would my vice chair like to read the public notice, please? Thank you, Gary.
City of Torrington Zoning Board of Appeals legal notice. The Zoning Board of Appeals has scheduled a public hearing on the following application on Monday, December 11th, 2023 in the City Hall Auditorium, room 218, 140 Main Street, Torrington, Connecticut. Zoning Enforcement Official Decision Appeal. Applicant Gary Hatstapp. Location 441 Oak Avenue, Torrington, Connecticut. Action being appealed, abandonment of pre-existing non-conforming use. Time of hearing, 7:00 PM. Copies of the above-mentioned application and enforcement case are on file in the Land Use Office, City Hall, 140 Main Street, Torrington, Connecticut. Mark Travella, Zoning Board of Appeals, dated in Torrington, Connecticut, this 27th day of November, 2023.
Thank you, Gary. And Gary, were your signs of the hearing displayed and the notices to the neighbors? And I see you have, do you have the receipts?
Yeah, that's
Okay, Nate,
correct.
you have everything you need?
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Good evening.
Thank you, thank you, Gary. Sir,
Yes, I'm the attorney for Mr. Hashtag. I've been retained today, and I'm here to ask the board to allow us to move this to the next public meeting
Mhm.
in order for me to get all the minutes from the prior actions in this case, and for me to come up to speed. It'd be in everyone's benefit to have me know what we're talking about exactly.
that makes perfect sense. May we have any discussion on that? Is that okay? Seems like a good idea.
Would you mind identifying yourself for the record?
Yes, Attorney Louis Medina. My office is in Norfolk, Connecticut.
Okay, great. And you said you were retained today?
I can't hear you.
I'm sorry, you said you were retained today for the,
I was retained today at the courthouse, yes.
okay.
Okay.
And you don't know everything already on the,
Excuse me?
I'm said you don't know the whole file already?
I have a package that I received, but I haven't had a chance to
I'm just
read it.
teasing you, counsel. I'm just joking. All right. Yeah, I mean,
I can assure you the next time I arrive, I'll have a good handle on it.
I'm sure you will be, yes. Do we need to make a motion to postpone? Or just to
well, I think we opened the public hearing, so now we would move it to the,
So in this role,
January.
because I am the CEO whose decision is being appealed, I can't provide counsel to the ZBA. I know Mark spoke to Jeremy Leifert to figure out, to kind of come up with a game plan as far as that goes. But it's my understanding based on what he said that the hearing would be opened and continued.
perfectly okay. Yes, sir.
Is it possible to hear everybody out and hear what everybody has to say and learn more about the case right now? And then postpone a decision afterward, but as to not waste everybody's time, it was come here already. I feel it'd be appropriate I mean, there's many documents here and I've taken about 10 minutes to read through them all of general understanding, but I'd like to hear from everybody here if
Well,
possible.
May I be heard on that? I think that it would be to everyone's benefit to have me review it
I
because
I would
it's
think that would be the
It-
point.
having someone speak without me having all the facts and having an opportunity to sit down with Nate and have a discussion on this issue, I think it would be fruitless.
It's also Mr. Hestad's appeal. So it's his appeal of the decision. So he would technically be presenting first and then everyone else would kind of be
And
in
I'm not going
response
to present
those-
anyone today.
in response to that
This way his
presentation.
attorney would be more prepared to,
Okay. And when was this appeal made?
Hmm?
This was, appeal was made how long ago?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
The appeal was made how long ago?
Oh, I'm not sure. Was it that date, Carrie, that you read?
That's
When
the
is-
date of the legal notice. 27th of November.
Carrie, when did you make your appeal? It was November 11th?
November.
November
November
17th we
17th.
have here. Okay, good. Um, I'm perfectly okay for,
Well, I guess what we would say is I'll motion to table,
is
to
it
move this to. next
table the right
meeting.
word?
I don't know if table is the right word.
To
Is table the right word?
continue.
Open the
Continue,
public hearing.
continue.
Yeah, continue we're opening the meeting today, but we'll continue it to the next hearing. That's my motion.
I'll second that.
Well, the request is to table or to have a continuance of this hearing so that his attorney can be prepared for any discussion about the case. And to the January
January 8th meeting.
January 8th.
January 8th meeting. Yeah.
Is that okay?
That's terrific, and I'll have a meeting with Nate before that.
Okay.
Anything further?
Anything further? Is that okay? We can just agree?
We have to call all in favor.
Do we have an all in favor from the committee to table this until January 8th
Aye.
Continue.
Aye.
to continue? Yes?
Aye.
Everyone?
Abstain.
Ken?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
aye.
Thank you, Ken. Okay,
Yep.
well then this discussion will resume on January 8th and we'll hopefully resolve it by then. And with no other further business, may I have a motion to
Mark,
adjourn?
I'm sorry, before you adjourn, do you mind adding another item to the agenda to discuss quickly outside of this case?
Sure.
It would just because you need to add it by 2/3 vote of the board. But I just want to talk about training requirements for ZBA.
And
So it would just be a motion to add an item to the agenda regarding ZBA training requirements, and then that
okay,
would have
so
to
we
take a
need a
vote.
motion this evening to add to the agenda
Yes,
training requirements.
I'll make a motion to add
Thank
to the
you.
agenda to discuss
May I have a
CPA training
second?
requirement.
I'll second that.
Thank you, James. All in favor?
Aye.
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 so this is, I've been sending emails, but this is just kind of, this is the first pilot year and new state statute coming out mandating training requirements for ZBA and planning and zoning commissions. We all did pretty good this year at hitting the training requirements. Every commissioner is required to have 4 credit hours, including 1 hour in housing and affordable housing. Next year, I'm working to schedule a training during one of the commission meetings to make it easier for us and other ZBAs kind of in our Torrington area to get trained up without having to go super far away. But ultimately, what will happen with this new regulation is that, or this new training requirement is that it's a self-attestation. So, you'll all report back to me what you get for as far as training requirements goes. And then we ultimately create a report for council from the chair, from Mark in this case, reporting on whether or not those requirements were met. Because it's so new, there's not really a lot known about what would mean if we were deficient in having members who aren't trained. Mike Ziska presented on this at our latest kind of ZBA or ZEO sort of training meeting. And I guess the biggest potential issue might be that a decision could, be overturned or not overturned, but appealed based on commissioners not having that training. But there's no case law on it yet. So it's not likely that it would come up kind of in our area. It'd probably be something in coastal Connecticut where there's a lot more litigation, or like more wealthy towns where they can kind of afford to nitpick at that and do that. But that's something to keep in mind as we move forward with training requirements. So trying to think if there's anything else on that topic. I'll continue to forward training materials to everyone. I know Randy tried to get trained up, and we've been having problems with getting payment from our finance department. So trainings have been hard to kind of get for payment, but we're working on it. So if anyone has any questions, just let me know. But as of now, what I'll do, Mark, is put a report together showing like how everyone's training was, and you can review it, and then we'll send it to council for the beginning of the year.
Okay. Sounds like a good idea. We've never been asked before to go, so I was wondering if we.
Yeah,
were gonna have a
it
further
just-
discussion on that.
2023 was the first year in which that requirement went through. Jim, I don't know if you heard too, that any attorney is exempt from these requirements.
Oh, that's wonderful to
So
hear.
it's very convenient for
What
you,
about
Jim.
paperwork?
You should have gone to
doesn't- it
law
doesn't-
school.
You know, because attorneys probably wrote the law, so they, you know,
Well, yeah,
Exempt,
they
yeah.
were saying it could be a personal injury attorney, it could be any attorney, but you're exempt in that case. So, but everyone else is subject to that training requirement.
No, honestly, when I first saw the notice, I didn't know whether it pertained to us because we are volunteers.
Right.
I thought it
Yeah.
was more to the commissioners that are employees.
No, yeah, that went, the planning and zoning also was working to comply with that. And the affordable housing thing kind of points more toward them really as far as the decision making, but it's a blanket thing. So even ZBA members have to have affordable housing training. But there's all the local organizations around the state are looking to put together trainings virtually so that, you know, you don't have to go to anything special. It could just be a Zoom thing, or doing it during regular meetings. So working to schedule one in the early spring, and I'll let you know, probably around April or so during one of the regular meetings. We probably won't have any business, but you never know.
And these meetings have a cost?
For the training requirements, you mean?
Hmm.
So any of the training, we can cover it as a land use office. We could probably swing most trainings for commissioners. A lot of it's going to be free. It's been determined that recordings, so the Yukon Clear Land Use Academy, which is they have free recordings. You could just attest that you've watched some of their trainings and just document exactly which trainings those
Oh,
are.
okay.
So there's plenty of material that can be done cheaply, but if you do want to go to an in-person thing or a paid virtual thing, just let me know and I can, work to get you signed up for that.
Okay, just wondering. Okay.
Yeah, and I'll continue to circulate that. So everyone will see plenty of trainings over the year.
Okay,
That-
thank you, Nate.
Yep, that's all I had.
All right. So did we have a motion to adjourn? I'm
So moved.
sorry, the meeting is over. After the meeting is over.
Can't hold discussion off the record on an application.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, we really shouldn't be listening without everyone present. In all fairness.
As a public hearing, you have to have it open to everybody in the public, including the applicant. So we can't discuss it with it being continued at this point.
Otherwise, it wouldn't be, yeah. So you're invited back on January 8th. For sure. Okay,
Thank you.
so back to our motion. We have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
Second.
Favor,
Aye.
coming,
Aye.
we're adjourned.